Let me tell you something from the heart, something I've learned over many years of watching folks grow older and wiser, or sometimes not so wise. You see, walking is often called the best exercise for seniors, and for many it is. It keeps the heart beating, the muscles moving, and the mind sharp. But there's a catch. Not every step taken by those over 70 is safe, especially if certain conditions are lurking quietly in the background. Doctors, those dedicated souls who see far beyond what meets the eye, have been warning seniors about the risks of walking too much if they carry these hidden burdens. I want to share with you what these conditions are, why walking can become a problem for some, and how understanding this can save you from trouble. It's about respect for your body, respect for the wisdom it's trying to tell you, even if it's in whispers. You might ask why someone would need to limit something as natural as walking. Well, the answer lies in how the body changes with age and how some conditions complicate those changes. Walking demands balance, strength, endurance, and a good supply of oxygen to muscles. When one or more of these factors falter, the risk of falling, injury, or exhaustion grows. Imagine your body's like an old car. Some cars can still take long drives even after many years, while others start sputtering, breaking down if pushed too hard. It's the same with us. If you have one of these 5 conditions, walking without limits could be like driving that car on a long road trip when it's barely holding together. First, let's talk about severe arthritis. Arthritis is common among older folks, but when it's severe, it's more than just a little ache in the joints. It's like trying to walk with stones tied to your feet. The joints, especially in the knees and hips, become stiff, swollen, and painful. For someone over 70 with severe arthritis, long walks can cause more harm than good. The pain may force you to take shorter steps or limp, which disturbs your balance and puts you at risk of falls. The inflammation in the joints can flare up after walking, leaving you bedridden the next day. It's heartbreaking to see a person eager to stay active, but held back by their own body, screaming for rest. Doctors warn that these individuals should limit walking to short, gentle strolls and focus more on exercises that don't stress the joints, like swimming or cycling. Next on this list is severe heart disease. The heart, our life's engine, sometimes doesn't run as smoothly after 70 years of age. If you have heart failure, arrhythmia, or other severe heart conditions, walking might sound simple but can be dangerously exhausting. Your heart struggles to pump enough blood and oxygen to your muscles, especially during physical activity. Walking long distances or walking fast could lead to chest pain, dizziness, or even fainting. I've seen many cases where seniors ignored these warning signs because they believed more movement always meant better health. The harsh truth is, sometimes less is more. Doctors suggest that if you have severe heart problems, walking should be done cautiously, in short bursts, and always under medical guidance. Then there's the condition of advanced chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, or COPD, which affects breathing. The lungs, which supply the oxygen needed for every step, become weak and inefficient. For seniors with advanced COPD, even walking short distances can be a monumental effort. Their breaths become shallow and fast, and the feeling of suffocation is terrifying. The constant struggle for air leaves them exhausted and vulnerable to falls. Walking too much without proper rest or oxygen support can worsen the condition and lead to hospital visits. It is a painful reminder that aging bodies sometimes come with invisible chains, making simple tasks overwhelming. Doctors advise these seniors to limit walking severely and focus on breathing exercises and treatments that improve lung capacity. The fourth condition that demands caution is severe balance disorders. Age itself can bring some unsteadiness, but when severe balance problems are present, walking becomes a risky endeavor. This could be due to neurological diseases like Parkinson's or inner ear problems that affect equilibrium. The fear of falling shadows every step, and falls can mean broken hips, head injuries, and a spiral into dependence. Imagine the anxiety and frustration when a walk in the garden or to the mailbox feels like navigating a tightrope. For these seniors, doctors warn that limiting walking and using aids like canes or walkers isn't just advice but a necessity. They emphasize creating safe environments at home and avoiding slippery or uneven surfaces. Last but not least, advanced diabetic neuropathy must be mentioned. Diabetes itself is a quiet thief of health, But neuropathy, or nerve damage, adds a cruel twist. Seniors with this condition often lose feeling in their feet. Without the sense of touch or pain, they might not notice injuries, blisters, or pressure sores caused by walking. These wounds can get infected and lead to serious complications, even amputation. Walking too much on numb feet is like walking blindfolded on rough terrain. It's no wonder doctors insist that those with advanced neuropathy limit their walking and inspect their feet daily. Foot care becomes a critical ritual, and comfortable, supportive footwear is non-negotiable. Now, I know this might sound like a list of doom and gloom, but it's not meant to scare you. It's meant to arm you with knowledge. Walking is still a gift, a blessing for many, but it must be done with respect for the limits our bodies now have. I speak not just as a teller of facts, but as someone who has seen the heartache of seniors pushing too hard and paying the price. They believe that more walking would keep them young, ignoring the whispers of pain, breathlessness, or instability. Their stories remind me of the old saying that wisdom often comes with age, but only if we listen. If you are over 70 and carry any of these conditions, I urge you to listen to your doctors and your own body. Don't fight your limitations blindly. Adapt your routine. Walking can be broken down into manageable pieces. Take it slow. Rest often. Use aids if needed. Focus on other forms of gentle exercise that keep you strong without risking harm. Remember, it is better to walk a few safe steps each day than to push beyond your limits and end up sidelined for weeks or months. Family and caregivers also play a crucial role in this. They need to understand that encouraging a senior to keep moving should never mean pushing them to exhaustion or danger. Watch for signs like unusual fatigue, pain, shortness of breath, or instability. Help create safe walking spaces with no clutter, good lighting, and non-slip mats. Be patient and listen. Sometimes the greatest kindness is accepting when walking must be limited. I also want to share a little secret I've learned. Even if walking is limited, connection with the world does not have to be. Sitting by a sunny window, doing chair exercises, stretching, and talking to friends or family can bring joy and health. The mind thrives on movement too, and happiness often springs from knowing you're cared for and safe. In closing, remember that walking is a wonderful thing, but not an unconditional blessing. For seniors over 70 with severe arthritis, heart disease, COPD, balance disorders, or diabetic neuropathy, it can become a challenge that requires limits and care. Respecting these limits is not giving up. It's honoring your body's story, your hard-earned wisdom, and your right to live safely and with dignity. Let your steps be measured and your heart be calm, knowing you are doing the best you can for yourself. That is the true mark of strength. Now let's clear some common questions. How can family members and caregivers support seniors in managing these conditions while encouraging safe mobility? The question of how family members and caregivers can truly support seniors in managing their health conditions while still encouraging safe mobility. It is a matter close to my heart because I have seen this dance of care and independence played out countless times. When we grow old, the desire to keep moving, to walk, to be free, remains strong, yet the body often demands caution. This balance between safety and freedom is delicate, and those who stand beside our elders, family, friends, caregivers, carry a weighty responsibility. But this responsibility is also a profound gift. Let me share with you what I have learned over many years, not just from books or doctors, but from the quiet moments spent watching, listening, and learning from those who live with these struggles every day. First, it begins with understanding. You cannot support what you do not understand. Those 5 conditions that often limit walking in seniors, severe arthritis, heart disease, advanced lung problems, balance disorders, and diabetic neuropathy, each bring their own challenges. Family members and caregivers must take time to learn what these conditions mean for the person they care for. It is not enough to say, "You should walk more," or "You need to rest." These words can feel empty or confusing without context. Understanding that arthritis might cause sharp pain that twists each step into an ordeal, or that heart disease can make even a short walk a struggle for breath and strength, opens the door to empathy. And empathy, my friend, is the foundation of true support. Listening is the next step, and often the hardest. Seniors may not always voice their fears or pains. Sometimes they downplay symptoms, not wanting to worry anyone or appear weak. Other times they may feel frustrated by their limitations and resist advice. It takes patience and gentle attention to hear what is not said as much as what is. A caregiver or family member must become a careful observer of changes in mood, appetite, mobility, and energy. Is there a hesitation before standing up? A slower shuffle? A wince when putting on shoes? These small signs often speak louder than words. When you listen closely, you can respond not just to the condition, but to the person living with it. Encouragement is where love and care truly come alive, but it must be wise encouragement, not blind pressure. Many seniors feel a deep need to remain active, to prove to themselves and others that age has not diminished their spirit. This is a powerful thing. As a caregiver or family member, you can nurture that spirit while honoring safety. Encourage gentle, safe movement. Celebrate every step, however small. Remind them that rest is not failure, but part of strength. I have seen the difference it makes when a senior feels supported to move within their limits rather than pushed beyond them. Confidence grows, and with confidence, mobility improves. Safety is a practical matter, yet it is also a loving act. For seniors with balance problems or painful joints, the environment must be adapted. I have watched families transform homes with grab bars in bathrooms, non-slip mats, clear pathways free of clutter, and sturdy chairs with armrests. These changes may seem small, but they are like installing guardrails on a mountain path. They offer security and peace of mind, reducing fear and falls. Family members and caregivers should also learn how to assist with walking aids properly, whether canes, walkers, or wheelchairs, ensuring they fit well and are used correctly. Safety is not just about preventing accidents. It is about creating a space where seniors feel safe to move and explore without dread. Another crucial support is in managing medical care. Families can help by keeping track of doctor appointments, medications, and therapies. Often, seniors have multiple prescriptions, each with its own schedule and side effects. Missing a dose or mixing medicines incorrectly can worsen their condition or lead to dangerous falls. Caregivers who stay organized and informed become invaluable allies in the senior's health journey. Beyond medications, assisting with physical therapy exercises prescribed by healthcare professionals is vital. These exercises, tailored to each condition, strengthen muscles, improve balance, and increase endurance. Helping seniors stay consistent with these routines, gently reminding them and joining in when possible, transforms a lonely chore into a shared mission. But support is not just physical, it is deeply emotional. Imagine the loneliness and frustration that can settle in when a person is told to limit walking to reduce independence. Family and caregivers must offer companionship, understanding, and hope. They need to remind seniors that their worth is not measured by how far they walk or how active they remain, but by the love they give and the wisdom they carry. Sharing stories, laughter, and even tears together can uplift a soul weighed down by physical limitations. Emotional support fuels resilience. It can motivate a senior to keep trying, to find new ways to enjoy life despite restrictions. Communication plays a vital role in this. Honest, gentle conversations about risks and limits can help seniors accept their new realities without feeling defeated. I have seen that when families talk openly about why walking must be limited and discuss alternative activities or rest periods, trust deepens. It becomes a partnership rather than a battle. Seniors feel heard and respected. Caregivers can ask questions like, "How do you feel after your walk today?" Or, "Would you like me to walk with you for support?" These simple invitations build connection and encourage safe mobility. Another layer of support comes from encouraging healthy lifestyle choices beyond walking. Nutrition, hydration, and sleep all influence a senior's ability to move safely. Caregivers and family members can help by preparing balanced meals rich in nutrients that reduce inflammation and strengthen bones. They can remind seniors to drink water regularly to avoid dizziness or cramps during walks. They can also promote good sleep habits, which restore energy and improve balance. When these basics are attended to, the body becomes more resilient, and walking, even if limited, becomes less taxing. In all this, one truth remains clear. Caregivers and family must guard against becoming overprotective. It is easy to slip into doing too much for a senior, out of love or fear. But overprotection can lead to loss of confidence, muscle weakening, and greater dependence. The challenge is to find the fine line where safety and encouragement meet, helping without taking over, offering support without smothering, teaching skills without enforcing limits harshly. This balance requires patience, humility, and ongoing learning. Sometimes the best way to support is simply to be present. Just sitting quietly with a senior, holding their hand, watching the world together. Presence tells them they are not alone, that their journey, however slow or difficult, is shared and honored. I have found that this simple act often brings more comfort and strength than words or actions. It is the foundation upon which all other support rests. In the end, managing these conditions while encouraging safe mobility is a journey for everyone involved. It is not a straight path, but a winding road filled with adjustments, setbacks, and small victories. Family members and caregivers become guides, companions, and cheerleaders. Their love and wisdom light the way. They remind seniors that though the body may ask for limits, the spirit can soar. So to those who care for our elders, I say this: learn well, listen deeply, encourage wisely, protect kindly, communicate openly, and love endlessly. Your support is more than a task. It is a sacred trust that can transform limitation into dignity, fear into courage, and frailty into strength. In this shared journey, every safe step taken becomes a testament to the enduring power of care. What psychological or emotional impacts might limiting walking have on seniors, and how can they be addressed? To talk about the psychological and emotional impacts that come when seniors are told to limit something as natural and life-giving as walking, well, that is a subject close to my heart. It is not merely about moving legs or putting one foot in front of the other. Walking is freedom, independence, and connection to the world for so many of us, especially those who have lived long enough to treasure each step. When that freedom is curtailed, it strikes deeper than the body. It reaches into the soul and stirs emotions that can be as heavy as stone and as fragile as glass. I have seen it in my years: the fear, the frustration, the loneliness, and also the quiet courage that emerges when seniors learn to cope with these new boundaries. Let me share what I have learned about these impacts and how they might be addressed, so that the heart and mind can find peace even when the body must rest. To begin with, the most immediate psychological effect is often a profound sense of loss. Imagine being told you cannot walk as far as you used to, or that you must stop before reaching the garden gate or the local store. It is not just about the physical limitation. It feels like a shrinking of the world, a closing of doors that once stood wide open. For many seniors, walking symbolizes independence, the ability to decide when and where to go without relying on others. When that independence is compromised, it can lead to feelings of helplessness and diminished self-worth. I remember an old friend who used to stroll the neighborhood every morning, greeting everyone by name. When his doctor told him to limit his walking, he withdrew, his smile fading. It was as if a vital part of his identity was being taken away. Closely tied to this loss is the emergence of frustration and anger. It is only human to resist change, especially when it feels imposed and unjust. Seniors may feel angry at their bodies for betraying them, at doctors for restricting them, or even at their family for worrying too much. This emotional turmoil can be draining. It might show as irritability, stubbornness, or withdrawal. Sometimes it can spiral into resentment or depression if left unspoken and unaddressed. The mind battles with the body's limits, creating an inner conflict that can weigh heavily on one's spirit. It takes patience and understanding from everyone around to help soothe these feelings. Another emotional impact that often goes unnoticed is fear. Fear of falling, fear of pain, fear of losing control. When walking becomes risky, seniors may live with a constant anxiety that makes them hesitant to move at all. This fear can restrict mobility even further, creating a vicious cycle where less movement leads to more weakness and more fear. It's a trap that can feel impossible to escape. The world grows smaller, not just physically but mentally, as worry replaces the joy that walking once brought. Fear of dependence on others also haunts many seniors, making the idea of asking for help feel like admitting defeat. Loneliness and social isolation are cruel companions in this journey. Walking often serves as a bridge to social interaction, a chance encounter with neighbors, a visit to friends, or a simple trip to a familiar place. When walking is limited, these opportunities shrink. The senior may feel cut off from community, left behind by a world that keeps moving. This isolation deepens emotional pain and can contribute to depression and a sense of invisibility. I have seen how even the most resilient souls wilt when disconnected from the human warmth they so desperately need. Yet amidst these challenges, there is hope. Addressing these psychological and emotional impacts requires a delicate blend of empathy, communication, and creativity. The first step is acknowledging these feelings as real and valid. Seniors need to know that their fears, frustrations, and sadness are understood and accepted, not dismissed or minimized. Family members, caregivers, and healthcare providers must listen with open hearts and patient ears, offering comfort not just through words but through presence. Sometimes, simply being there and allowing a senior to express their emotions without judgment is a balm more powerful than any medication. Encouraging a shift in perspective can also help. Instead of focusing on what walking has been lost, seniors can be gently guided to appreciate what remains possible. Celebrating small achievements, such as a short walk around the house, or even just standing and stretching, builds confidence and counters feelings of helplessness. Emphasizing quality over quantity in movement can renew a sense of accomplishment. I recall a woman who, after being told to limit her walking, found joy in tending a small indoor garden. Her steps were fewer, but her spirit blossomed. Building routines that include safe and enjoyable activities beyond walking can fill the emotional gap. Chair exercises, gentle stretching, or seated hobbies like knitting or puzzles engage both body and mind. These activities provide purpose, reduce boredom, and offer moments of pleasure that counteract loneliness. Encouraging social interaction in new ways, such as phone calls, video chats, or visits from loved ones, keeps the connection alive even when physical mobility is limited. Technology, when used wisely, can be a lifeline to the outside world. Addressing fear requires creating a safe and supportive environment. Modifying the home to reduce fall risks, providing appropriate walking aids, and encouraging supervised movement can help seniors feel more secure. Teaching relaxation and breathing techniques can also calm anxiety. When seniors feel safe, they are more willing to move and participate in life. Building trust is key. A senior who knows their caregiver is attentive and patient will take comfort in that presence and may push themselves gently in time. To combat loneliness, it is vital to foster community and companionship. Family and friends must make a consistent effort to engage with the senior, visiting often or staying in touch. Local senior centers, clubs, or groups can offer opportunities for socializing tailored to physical abilities. Volunteering or participating in gentle group activities can restore a sense of belonging and usefulness. I have witnessed how even a simple shared cup of tea or a story told can lift a heavy heart. Finally, professional support should not be overlooked. Mental health counselors, therapists, or support groups specialized in aging can provide valuable tools for coping with emotional distress. Sometimes seniors need more than family can offer, and seeking outside help is a sign of strength, not weakness. Holistic care that addresses both mind and body creates the best outcomes. In all this, hope remains the brightest thread. Limiting walking is indeed a loss, but it does not mean the end of life's richness. With love, understanding, and creative support, seniors can find new ways to thrive emotionally and psychologically. Their worth is not measured by distance walked, but by the depth of their spirit and the connections they nurture. Life's journey continues, often on different paths, but always with the potential for meaning and joy. So to those who care for seniors, I offer this humble advice. Be patient, be present, and be compassionate. Walk alongside them in heart and mind, even if the feet must slow down. Together, you can transform the pain of limitation into a new chapter of resilience and grace. How does respecting physical limitations with proper care contribute to a senior's overall quality of life and independence? Respecting physical limitations with proper care is one of the most profound gifts we can offer to our seniors. And I say this from years of seeing the delicate dance between strength and vulnerability that comes with age. It is easy to misunderstand what it means to respect limitations. Some think it means giving up or accepting defeat, but nothing could be further from the truth. Respecting these limits is not about surrender. It is about honoring the reality of the body while nurturing the spirit that lives within it. This balance, when struck with wisdom and compassion, can do more to preserve a senior's quality of life and independence than any medicine or therapy. I have watched it unfold many times, and the lessons it teaches are as timeless as they are vital. When a person grows older, the body inevitably changes. Muscles lose their strength, joints become stiff or painful, balance can waver, and illnesses may slow the pace. To deny these changes is to set oneself up for frustration and injury. I have seen seniors stubbornly pushing beyond their limits, falling and breaking bones, or exhausting themselves until joy is replaced by fatigue. But I have also seen those who embrace their new boundaries with grace, learning to live fully within them and discovering new forms of freedom. That is the power of respect combined with proper care. Respecting physical limitations begins with acceptance. This acceptance is not about giving up hope, but about seeing things clearly. It means understanding that certain activities might need to be adjusted or limited, not because the person is weak, but because the body requires kindness and care. When family members, caregivers, and the seniors themselves accept these facts, it opens the door to safer choices, it reduces the risk of injury, and the fear that often accompanies the thought of moving or walking. Fear can be paralyzing, but when a senior knows that their limits are acknowledged and protected, they can face each day with more confidence and peace. Proper care is the companion to respect. It is the practical side of this wisdom. Proper care means providing the right tools, support, and environment that align with those limits. It means fitting walking aids correctly, arranging furniture to avoid falls, ensuring nutrition supports bone and muscle health, and encouraging appropriate exercise that strengthens without straining. Proper care also means being attentive to pain and fatigue, not dismissing them, but addressing them with patience and understanding. It is in this thoughtful attention that seniors feel safe and supported rather than controlled or restricted. The impact of respecting limitations and providing proper care is profound on quality of life. When seniors do not have to battle their bodies or hide their struggles, they experience less stress and anxiety. This emotional relief can be just as important as any physical intervention. I have known elders who, once freed from the pressure to meet impossible expectations, blossomed emotionally. They smiled more, engaged more, and found joy in the small pleasures that life offers. Whether it is a leisurely walk around the garden, a warm conversation with a friend, or simply watching the birds outside the window, these moments become rich with meaning when the body is treated with respect. Moreover, respecting limitations preserves independence, which is the cornerstone of dignity in old age. Independence does not mean doing everything alone or without assistance. It means having control over one's life and decisions. When care is aligned with a senior's capabilities, they are empowered to do what they can safely, rather than being forced into dependence prematurely. For example, a senior who uses a cane or walker but can still prepare a simple meal or tend to a hobby maintains a sense of autonomy. This feeling of being in charge of one's life fuels self-esteem and motivation, which in turn can improve physical and mental health. Independence is deeply tied to identity and purpose. When seniors feel that they are still capable and valued, their sense of self remains intact. I remember a man who, after being diagnosed with arthritis, feared he would lose his independence. But with proper care, adjustments at home, and respect for his limits, he continued to manage his finances, care for his pets, and even paint. His spirit remained vibrant because he was allowed to live on his own terms within safe boundaries. This balance between limitation and freedom is not always easy to achieve, but when it is, it transforms aging from a process of decline into a journey of adaptation and resilience. Another aspect to consider is how respect for limitations encourages seniors to explore new activities and interests. When one door closes, another often opens. I have seen seniors who could no longer take long walks discover the joys of seated yoga, gentle stretching, or even gardening in raised beds. These activities respect their physical capabilities while keeping their bodies and minds engaged. Proper care involves guiding seniors towards these opportunities, helping them find joy and purpose in forms that suit their health. This active engagement wards off boredom, depression, and the sense of uselessness that can plague those who feel confined by their bodies. Family members and caregivers play a critical role in fostering this environment of respect and care. They become advocates, educators, and cheerleaders. Their attitude can make all the difference. When they approach limitations with empathy rather than frustration, seniors feel understood and supported. It requires patience to listen and learn what each senior can and cannot do. It calls for flexibility to adapt routines and expectations. And above all, it demands love. Love that says, I see you, I honor you, and I will walk beside you in this new chapter. This respect also means celebrating every achievement, no matter how small. Each step taken without pain, each successful use of a walking aid, each moment of balance regained deserves recognition. These celebrations build confidence and reinforce the idea that life's value is not measured by speed or distance, but by the quality of experience and the richness of connection. Proper care is not just about preventing falls or injuries. It is about nurturing the whole person, body, mind, and soul. In the grander picture, respecting physical limitations contributes to a cycle of positive health. When seniors move safely within their capacity, they avoid injuries that could lead to hospitalization or long periods of immobility. This means fewer complications, less pain, and a better chance of maintaining function. It also reduces stress on caregivers and families, creating a more harmonious and supportive home environment. The peace that comes from knowing that care is thoughtful and respectful permeates relationships and uplifts everyone involved. Finally, this approach to aging reminds us all of a universal truth. Dignity is not lost with age or illness, but preserved through respect and compassion. Proper care that honors physical limitations is an act of profound respect for life itself. It acknowledges the reality of the body without denying the vitality of the spirit. It recognizes that while we may slow down, we do not stop growing, learning, or loving. So to those who care for seniors, I offer this reflection. Respect their limits not as chains but as guides. Provide care not as control but as support. And in doing so, you will help preserve not just their quality of life, but their very essence of independence and dignity. The journey may require patience and humility, but it is a journey worth taking. Because in the end, to age well is not about how fast or far we move, but about how deeply we live within the bounds of our own unique stories. If you liked today's discussion, don't forget to like the video. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to stay updated with every video we release. And yes, don't forget to share your experiences and thoughts in the comments. Every comment is special to us. Your feedback helps us improve further. We'll continue to meet you in every new video on this channel. So until next time, take care.